department in schools and that kind of information. Maybe, what is the climate here? The 12-month climate range, lows and highs and averages, rainfalls, those kinds of things. You're almost like a miniature chamber of commerce in a buyer's package. Now, don't make it too voluminous because it defeats the whole purpose, but just kind of the essence of what's going on in your community. I think you also need to have statistics about your marketplace. Here's how many sales there have been this year compared to the, year before, that kind of thing. The things we talked about in week 1. That goes in there. Educate them. Let me offer this to you. The more you educate a buyer, the more comfortable and confident they feel, the stronger the relationship becomes. Does that make any sense to you? They learn to look at you as a trusted source now. You begin to develop a true relationship. And guess what else it commands? Loyalty. Loyalty from them to you. I have a page in there called How I Work for You. I've got the home buying process, if they haven't bought a home in 20 years or if they're a first-time home buyer. And so we'll kind of look at those in detail as we go through this. And then I've got the itinerary. Here's the homes we're going to go look at today or tomorrow as I hand them the package. Here's the 5 houses I've got laid out, for us. And then I've got that how to buy this home, the different alternatives. Here's the different financing options on how to buy the house. Make it very, very attainable for them. So, How I Work for You. This is the page that I used. It made me a lot of money in my career. Essentially there's 3 components to it. As you can see right there, it's in the workbook and it's on the screen in front of you. I asked them, tell me the most important considerations in selecting a home. You tell me what you're looking for in a house. That's step 1. And then step 2, I'm going to go out there and search for homes for you. I'm going to look in the MLS. I'm going to look in the ads. I'm going to look at those for sale boners. I'm going to look on the internet. I'm going to go out there and beat the bushes and try to find houses to look for you. This is the dialogue now from me to them, the buyer. Here's what I do for you. And then number 3, and here's where I differ from some other real estate people. It doesn't make me right. Doesn't make me wrong. Okay? These are my videos, so you're listening to my way. Okay? I try to do things that people don't expect. Remember that? I try to come from the other angle. So I say to them, step 3, after we find the houses that I think matches, I can make an appointment to show you. We'll get inside there and take a look at them. Or, if you'd prefer, I'll give you the address, give you the map so you can see where they are. You drive around, you check out the area. I ask that you respect the sellers and not go pound on their door, but just kind of check it out a little bit, and then you tell me which ones appeal to you and you'd like to go inside and see. Does that make any sense to you? It is the most common sense approach to working with buyers I've ever seen, and it just puzzles me to no end why real estate people are not comfortable doing that. Somehow we've developed this mentality that, I don't want them out there driving around on their own. My God, they might run into a real estate agent. Well, you know what? There's so many real estate agents. If they don't run into real estate agents, they haven't run into anybody. You shouldn't worry about them running into a real estate agent. Because part of the buyer's package, I'm going to show you next few minutes, protects you. You don't have to worry about that stuff. Let me get to the bottom line. Here's what made me a lot of money working with buyers. Just see if these words ring true in your own mind. The more freedom you give to a buyer, the more loyalty they give back to you. The more you try to hang on to them, like our kids, the more they wiggle, squirm, and fight and want to get away. Yes or no? Yeah. It's just common sense. And if you put the right package together, you don't have to worry about them going behind you and buying something. The home buying process, if they're a first-time home buyer, or as I said, if it's been years and years since they bought a house, you kind of walk them through. Different parts of the United States uses different terminology. We have closings, they have settlements. You say the word escrow to half the United States, their eyes glaze over. They have no idea what you're talking about. Be careful when you use real estate terminology, especially with people coming into your community from different communities. Don't assume that they use the same terminology you do. So you explain to them, here's the process. We're going to look, get the houses, we're going to go look at them, and then here's the contract, and I actually gave the buyers the contract. Here's the contract. Hold it right there. Hang on to it. Get comfortable with it. Because a contract, and states and provinces, they all have different contracts. And some states are so litigious, they're overwhelming the paperwork that people have to sign to buy a house today. And it'll just get worse and worse and worse as the years go on. And so I found it was beneficial to actually hand to them physically here's the contract we're going to use. So you can kind of get familiar with it, comfortable with it. When we find a house that meets all your needs, this is the contract we're going to use right here. And then I learned to phrase it a little differently. Because guess what happened? About 2 years into my career, I said those words to a couple, a guy and his wife. I said, here's a contract, get comfortable with it, because when we find a house that you like, meets all your needs, this is what we use to buy it. We found a house like a week later. We're all excited. We're sitting there, and it's on a Saturday afternoon. Never forget this. And we're sitting there, and the house was vacant, so we're in the house, writing up the deal in the house, right there at the kitchen table. And I go for my briefcase, and she says, opens her purse, and she pulls out the contract. She goes, I've been saving this for a week. Here it is. And I had given the impression that's like the only one. You get one contract and you have to hang on to it. Everything I learned the hard way, all right? And so you just walk them through the process. I give them what I call a property preview guide. Here's the addresses, here's the basics on the house, bedroom, bathroom, garage, square footage, that kind of a deal. Maybe the age, whatever you think is appropriate. And then I've got over there comments, so they can just kind of make their little comments. And then if they want to drive by, which one do they want to set an appointment? Some of us need to hear this. Please, please hear these words. In my own personal experience, what I've learned is that most buyers cannot look at more than 6 houses before they're totally confused. And I see well-intended agents line up, we got 11 houses for you to look at today. And they have no clue what they've seen after about 5, 6, 7 houses. You know what we ought to do? I've said this for years. You know what we should do? We should buy a house ourselves about every 4 or 5 years to show ourselves what we do to people. You look at houses for a living, and you can remember most of them. But even us that do this for a living, you go out there and preview 10, 15 houses. Most of us have no clue what the first 3 houses look like. Give them a break. And then this page, I don't know, it might have made me millions, hundreds of thousands anyway in my career. Because it's part of my buyer's package, and it says right there, whether you find a home by seeing an ad in the paper, driving by a for sale sign, hearing or visiting an open house, find a home on the internet, I can sell any of them to you. Because too many of us in this business have been burned because we forgot to tell our buyers this. We work with them for 7 weeks. We get to know each other. We've bought them lunch about, 26 times now. Got to know their kids real well. Even watched them for them so they go to the movies. And they call us on Saturday evening because they're so excited they want us to be the first to know that they bought a house today. And you say, you what? We bought a house. We knew you'd be excited for us. We just happened to be driving by. Anybody know what I'm talking about? We've all got scars for that one. This page, as simple as it is, prevented that from happening. Because I'm here to tell you, most buyers don't go behind our back. They're not going behind our back. They have no idea this is how it works. So make sure you cover that. How to show homes. Here's a couple of things. Real simple to the point. This is my system. Step 1, what I call tour the home on paper or online. Some 87% of buyers today, in the year we're filming this, 87% of buyers have been online looking at houses before the first conversation is held with a real estate agent. And so the first step is that I'll pick out some houses. I'll send you, the synopsis from MLS, the link, or whatever you use. Let them look at it. Step 2, go out there on your own, drive around, check it out, see what you think of the area. Because some of us have already experienced this. We got 3 houses lined up. They're in our front seat and back seat of our car. We drive in the neighborhood. We pull onto the street. We pull up in front of the house. And they're going, oh, we don't need to see this one. They eliminate it just from curb appeal. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Not only is it a monumental waste of your time and their time, I offer to you more damaging is the loss of your credibility in their eyes. Trying to show them something that, if they don't say the words, these are the thoughts going on. Why did he even show us this? He has no sense of what we're looking for. Can you hear that? That's reason enough alone, I felt, to let him get out there, drive around, prove it on your own. And then step 3, I only show them homes they like. So I'm just kind of hammering this point because it's always been a sensitive area for me, and I think it's one of the biggest mistakes we make as agents working with buyers. Here are the questions that eliminated people being buyers or liars. This is the question that helped me show homes to people that matched what they were actually looking for. I don't say to them, hey, tell me what's really important in a house. Tell me what you're really looking for. Give me your most important things in a house. I have learned over years and years and years of experimentation, you get a total different response when you ask that question right there in front of you right now. And that is, please tell me the 3 features a home absolutely must have in order to even consider living in it. Now, I may come across real dramatic here because I slowed down and the inflection of my voice went up, but I'm trying to make a point. There's 3 components to this question. The first one is the 3 most important features. I've discovered when you tell people to prioritize a response, you get a whole different answer than if you say, tell me what's important to you. Does that make any sense to you? You give me the 3 most important. You may think I'm making this up. I've had couples in front of me. Here's the first one. Oh, here's the second one. Here's the third one. And she says, that's not the third one. This is the third one. And I've had people almost get into an argument right in front of me. I said, you can have 4. No, you can have 4. It's okay. The second component, absolutely must have. I'm emphasizing the importance of their response. And the third component, in order to even consider living in it. You get people to emotionally move into the house. Can you see yourself living in this house? It's got to have this in order for us to even consider living in it. I hope you use that question. Second question. Every home we look at, I'm going to ask you one question, and that is, why didn't we buy this one? Very few real estate people have ever asked that question. I began to experiment with that years and years ago, and you got to be very careful how you say it, because you can come across like you're real pushy, but here's let me give you a flavor of how I said it. You know, as we go out and look at houses, so that I don't waste your time showing you houses that don't really work for you, if it's okay, what I'd like to do, every time we look at a house and we walk out and you say, no, this doesn't work, I'd simply like to ask you, why did we not buy this one? Why did we eliminate it? By you telling me that, I can dramatically reduce the number of homes we have to look at. Does that make sense to you guys? And it makes sense to them too. And that's what's important. Maybe near the top of the list of my pet peeves about this industry is that a lot of people in this industry do not accept the fact that they are a salesperson. My own personal observation, well over 80% of the people in this industry have never had any formal sales training. When you take developing relationships like we've heard about week 1, week 2, now week 3, when you combine building relationships with actual sales skills, that is a powerful combination. Would you accept that? A lot of people in real estate make money simply because of the relationship aspect. You throw in a couple of sales techniques, and I'm not talking about slick. I'm not talking about, how tricky I am. It's got nothing to do with it. You can't sell a house to someone that they don't want to buy. I don't care how good you are. Study sales techniques. Get the CDs, get some DVDs, get books. But you know where you learn the most? Study other salespeople. I'm going to offer to you, you will learn more by watching another salesperson from a total different profession than any book you ever read on sales. And I'm going to have you do that in this week's tasks. Because they won't buy it if it doesn't work for them. I don't care how good you are. Part of sales is in how you package your material. We don't have time in this series to go into great detail, but whether it's a pre-listing package for sellers, whether it's a buyer's package for the buyers, I hope that you hear these next